Hello students, welcome to my class. In today's class we will see the process of the evolution taken in the animals from non-chordates to chordates. So this is nothing but the evolution of the transport system in animals. So first I start with the protozoa. The best example for protozoa you know very clearly. So amoeba. In first unit you studied that amoeba collects the food material by using pseudopodia. After taking the food into the body, they are considered as food vacuoles, and these food vacuoles means the food material present in the food vacuole is dispersed into the cytoplasm equally. So the movement of the materials which are dispersed inside the cell are called the Brownian movements. So these Brownian movements are also present in the multicellular animals like human beings. Means after taking the food, when it reaches through the blood to the cells, finally in our cells also they act like the unicellular animals. So this is about the amoeba. And coming to the second group of animals, porifera group of animals, the example is sponge. So the body of the sponge is generally, it contains many number of pores. You know that the sponges are the sessile animals, they are the sedimentary animals. So they can't move from one place to another place. These are the only animals in the animal kingdom which can't move from one place to another place, means which do not show the movement. So anyway, they contain the holes on the body surface. These holes are called ostia. Singular is ostium. And this ostium, inside the ostium, there are many number of hair-like structures, and these hair-like structures are called flagella. When they show the continuous beating, the water present outside enters the body cavity from different pores. So thus the body receives the water, and along with the water food materials and oxygen, different type of materials are taken into the body. And after that the food materials are used, and waste materials and other materials, they are sent out through the other large pore which is present at the anterior part of the body, is called osculum. Means in the porifera group of animals, the water current system is developed for the transportation. And coming to the third one, hydra. Hydra belongs to the phylum Cnidaria or Coelenterata. And you know that the anterior part of the body you are observing a pore. This pore is called the mouth. Around the mouth, and many number of tentacles also present in the hydra. And this mouth acts as anus also. And inside the hydra, the cavity present is called gastrovascular cavity. So this gastrovascular cavity, like sponges, it takes the water through the mouth, and along with the water the materials are taken, and the waste material produced in the cells are released into the cavity. Again through the same mouth the waste materials are sent out. Thus the mouth acts as anus in the hydra. So this type of circulatory system you can find in the Cnidaria group of animals. And coming to the Platyhelminthes group of animals, examples are flatworms. Example is Fasciola hepatica given in the textbook. It is also called liver fluke, which is like a leaf-like structure, means dorsoventrally compressed, and it appears like a flatworm. And in the flatworm you are observing, this is the branched digestive system. When the food materials are taken, when they are digested directly, this digestive system plays vital role for the supplying of the food materials to all the body parts. At the same time, in the flatworms, well-developed excretory system is also present. With the help of the flame cells, they collect the waste materials also. Thus, the entire body is occupied by the digestive system, and the circulation is taken by the digestive system. Okay, so this type of circulatory system is developed in the Platyhelminthes group of animals. And coming to the nematoda, these are called roundworms or threadworms. Okay, so fifth phylum we are observing, and here these worms, they contain the digestive system, and here a coelom is present which is called pseudocoelom. This coelom contains the pseudocoelomic fluid which distributes the materials to all the body parts. Okay, so thus you can just remember pseudocoelomic fluid plays vital role in the nematoda group of animals. And coming to the other phylum, Annelida. Annelida means earthworms. So one thing, the very important thing here you have to remember is, even they are the lower level of organisms. First time in the animal kingdom, the circulatory system like blood vessels are first time appeared in the earthworms. So Earthworm contains the blood vessels and also some heart-like pulsatile tubes are present in the earthworm. So this is very very important. Means in the earthworms or in the annelids, the blood vessels are developed. You have to remember this point very clearly. Okay. Next, coming to the after annelida, another phylum is Arthropoda. When we say Arthropoda, we remember insects like cockroach, like insects. In cockroach, the blood is white color, and here you know that the body is divided into three chambers. These chambers are called sinuses or cavities, and directly the blood flows within the sinuses or cavities. And when the blood flows directly within the body cavities, such type of circulatory system is called open type of circulatory system. And at the same time, you have to remember one thing, that in Arthropoda, the anterior cavity contains the tube-like structure, which is also considered as the heart. This heart is having 13 chambers like structures, okay, and it is pulsatile. Due to the pulsatile movements, the blood, what we call hemolymph, is supplied to all the body parts, and thus the body parts directly get the nourishment without any blood vessels. And at the same time, you can find in the mollusca, means in the snail-like organisms, and also in the Echinodermata, like starfish-like organisms also. So similarly, they will have the open type of circulatory system without blood vessels. Okay, right. So in the animal kingdom, you can see open type of circulatory system: Arthropoda, cockroach, mollusca, snail-like organisms, and Echinodermata. Starfish-like organisms, they contain the open type of circulatory system. The open type of circulatory system is the circulatory system without blood vessels, and where the cells directly get food materials from the hemolymph or from the fluids present in the body. Okay, right. But coming to the chordata, higher organisms like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, all these animals, they contain the, we studied in the mammals, they contain the blood vessels and heart. Similarly, they also contain the blood vessels and heart. And one more thing here, I told you that annelida, even though annelida are lower level of organisms, they also contain the blood vessels. So if the food materials are carried through the blood, and if the blood is present inside the blood vessels, and such type of circulatory system is called closed type of circulatory system. Once again I am repeating. So if the blood flows within the blood vessels, and if the food materials are carried to the body parts with the blood which is flowing inside the blood vessels, the type of circulatory system is called closed type of circulatory system. And the closed type of circulatory system is present in chordata animals, like all these animals, 5, and including these two non-chordates like annelida and cephalopoda. Cephalopoda is the one of the groups present in the mollusca group of animals. All the mollusks, they contain the open type of circulatory system, but like cephalopoda, like octopus like animals, even they belong to mollusca group of animals, they show the closed type of circulatory system. So thus, students, you can see how the circulatory system is changed from one phylum to another phylum, and how the completely now you are observing the well-developed circulatory system in the human beings with blood vessels and with well-developed heart. So this is about the evolution of the transport system in various group of animals from non-chordate to chordates. So keep watching for more information and also for more classes on Shodhana YouTube channel. So thank you, students.